filters. What is this? Okay, beam. No. Pop. Hmm. Crush. This is my first time. A glow. No. Slate nor dawn. Absolutely not. Nope. Glamour. No, not right now. No, documentary. Oh, a documentary. Hmm, that might be okay. Silver screen. That's haunted. Ooh, let me stop playing. Okay. Sketch. Oh no. Oh, that's haunt. Let me not before something peer up behind me and be like, hi. Okay, so let me just go to, um, I like the documentary. Documentary looks fine. Okay, so real quick, excuse me. Yes, I am live. Oh, how do I get this off the bottom of, okay, there we go. Okay, so how's my bio? So, what I'm going to be, well, I'm finished talking about what I was talking about last night, about the contracts. That video was like a little bit over an hour, and I ain't even wanted, well, I ain't gonna say I didn't want to have it that long, because I ain't really know when I was going to end, but I was like, I don't want to make it over an hour. I knew that much. But one of the things that I did not get to talk about that I wanted to talk about on that live last night, on that video last night, was the contracts. It was about, well, I'm watching the movie Addicted. So this one made me, this is a pretty good movie. I watched this movie a few times. So, yeah, but anyway, so it got me thinking about stuff. Got me thinking about some stuff. And so it made me think about, what I didn't finish talking about or touch base with really last night, which was the contract that I almost signed. I did not sign it. I didn't. Okay, let me get into it. Okay. So basically, it's about the birth control. Basically, about birth control. I This is after my son Melvin. Okay, so after I had my son Melvin at Mercy Hospital in Baltimore, my fourth son, yeah. So my doctor, this was like my 6 week checkup or 8 week checkup or something like that. So he was saying, like asking me, you know, did I think about any family planning options? Like, would I, have I thought about any and stuff like that? So he was throwing some out there, the IUD, the implant on your arm, the ring. I forgot about the ring, the that circle ring. This is birth control methods, and of course the birth control pill, and what other stuff? The pill, the thing that go on your arm, the IUD. That's the thing like the T shape that go on your vagina, the ring, and I think that's probably it. But what I want to say is when he was saying them options, I was giving my reasons for no, no, no. He was just like, hey, because I've been on birth control on and off since I was 15 years old. Of course, I had to be on and off because I got 5 children now. But on and off, I was on birth control. Of course, I stopped taking some for whatever reasons and stuff like that. But I done been on the pill. Okay, so when he was asking me, the pill, would you like to be on the pill? And I'm like, and then that took me back to when I was like a teenager and in my like early 20s and stuff like that. Oh yeah, the shot, the double shot. When I was in my, especially in high school, when I was in high school, yes, I was on the birth control pill. I was taking it every day at the same time because I don't know how it's all birth control pills like that, but I know the ones that I have taken, it was like you got to take it at the same day at the same time. So I was doing that in high school, and so when he brought that up, when I had my son in 2014. So just as like 2015, because I had him in December. So this is 2015 now when he asked me about family planning methods and stuff. So when he was talking about the pills and there's like different kinds of pills and this and that, so I was telling him like, nah, I don't want to be on a pill. That seemed like a teenager, like a young kind of a girl, thing to do. Like I passed that level. I'm not being on no pills. He was like, okay, cool. Well, how about the thing in your arm? I think it's called the Nora plant. I could be wrong, but the thing in your arm for birth control that stays in your arm, a doctor or whatever, like insert something in your arm and it stays there and it can only come out if a doctor like take it out, so it's like you can feel your arm and it's there. Oh, the patches, birth control patches. Sorry, I'm just cutting myself off. But so he was saying something about the thing in the arm, and I was just like, oh no, 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 thank you. I don't even want to know too much about that. That's a no go right there. So then he said about the patches, the birth control patches. I believe you keep it on for a week, one patch a week, I believe, and you take it off and put on a new patch, and it's a noticeable patch, that stays on you. You don't take it off. You just keep it on for a week at a time, and you get a new one every week. So I'm just like, I don't want to be intimate, and the guy see a patch in a certain area, and it's just like, what the heck? Like, I get it, but no, I don't want to see that. So I'm like, no patches, no, thank you. So then he said the depot shot. Now I would have went with the depot shot if I hadn't got osteoporosis years ago. I don't know. I'm just say 10 years ago. I had osteoporosis. I mean, I probably still got it. That's bone deficiency, because I was on a depot shot for like over a year. This is like after my second son. My second son was born 3907. So that's when I got introduced into the depot shot. And I'm like, okay, good. It's a shot every 3 months and in my side cheek or whatever. Fine. I can do that. And it was fine. And then that doctor was like, hey, after a year you gotta go get your bone tested, a bone density test. To check your bone thing. But he was like, you don't got nothing to worry about. You like 20 something years old, you're healthy, you're active. It's only really older women, who probably will have osteoporosis. You're good. But I got the test done, and come I find out I got osteoporosis. Like my bones wasn't so strong, so I had to get all these Vita chews and calcium pills, and had to drink milk, extra milk or more milk. So 2015, so when the doctor, you know, asked me about that, the depot shot, I was like, nope, I'm not going that route. I already did that route. He was like, okay, cool. How about what was the other one I said? The thing in your arm, the depot shot, the patches, the T shape, what is that called? Yeah, well, the T shape IUD. Uh-oh, here go my daughter. She's good. She's good. She be having her episodes. She's autistic, but she's in there with her teacher, and she be starting to whine a lot lately. Like, Eleanor, use your words. But anyways, what was I talking about? The T shape. So the T shape thing, and I said Plena just last night, so I shouldn't really be trying to talk about it, but whatever. So the T-shaped thing, he was like, how about the T-shape? There's one that's copper and a newer one that's plastic, I believe. And, it's a T-shape and go on your uterus and yada, yada, yada. And a doctor inserted, well, I inserted the doctor, and it stays in and it can come out only when the doctor come out to, whatever. But you don't got to worry about coming back. It stays in, I think, for like 5 years, 5 to 7 years, depending on the one you want. So that takes care of for 5 to 7 years. So I'm like, okay, that might be something to go to or whatever, a route to go to. But I was just like, So I'm thinking about all that, like birth control. So then I remember sitting there in the office, and I'm just like, and then he mentioned, the tubes tied thing. He was like, well, you got 4 sons and yada, yada, yada. He ain't like pressured me or anything. He was just letting me know my options. So then he did bring up the tubes tied. I forgot the specific name of it. I want to say hysterectomy, but I'm thinking that's for a guy. It might hysterectomy, hysterectomy, HIS. So that might be for the guy. So the female, I know it's a term. It's not just tubes tied. I know it's probably a term, but anyways, he brought that up. He was like, "Well, how about that?" And I was like, "I don't know." But I was more so leaning honestly towards that route because I was sitting here thinking about all my pregnancies that I done had, and like how none of them turned out like my during my pregnancy when I was pregnant with my children, I was healthy, my children came out healthy, everything was fine. I'm also talking about the relationship with me and my children's dad. Well, I had four sons at the time. My relationship with their dad while I was pregnant, it was not good. I mean, it had some okay parts, but it was like not what I expected out of none of them. My first two children by the same person, like that whole ordeal with being pregnant with my first son. And yeah, I was like 21 and I cheated on like my boyfriend that I had while he was in Minnesota with with my son's dad, and ended up being pregnant. And I was just like, oh my goodness, who's the dad? DNA test after the baby came. Like it was just like a lot going on with that pregnancy. So feeling bad, for what I'd done, my actions, cheating on my boyfriend, my high school sweetheart at the time with, a guy that I known, wasn't like a random guy. Like I know my children's father since I was 11 years old. But cheating on him with like my, y'all know what I'm talking about. I just felt bad. So during that pregnancy, I wasn't like so excited because in a way I was just like I knew it was like a higher chance that my children's dad was like the father of my child versus my high school sweetheart boyfriend at the time. So doing that, that was just like, oh my goodness. And then I came out and let both of them know, in the beginning. Like I think I let the guy who I was seeing, he, like I said, he had moved to Minnesota, but he came to visit and stuff like that. And then when he come to visit, whatever, whatever. So he went back to Minnesota. But when I found out I was pregnant, I had to tell him. I think I told him when I was like 4 months pregnant. I was like, I'm pregnant, maybe 3 months. Yeah, I think it was like 3 months. I don't even think it was 3 or 4 months, you know. And I had to let him know, like, I don't know if you're the father or not. And that was like one of the hardest things I had to tell somebody, and I just felt bad for me. Like I felt disappointed in myself. I'm like, oh my goodness, I hurt this guy, and I'm like, this is my first time being pregnant. Like, what? Man. So like that pregnancy with my first son was like, oh. So my second son, which is by the same guy, he was in a real. I ain't gonna go too much into detail, but basically, I wanted a second son. My second son was the only one that was playing, because I was like my oldest son. He was like 3, 4 years old, and he was very dependent. He was getting very independent on his own. And I was like, oh my goodness, my son, my baby is growing up. And I'm just like, oh, I want another one. And I'm like, nobody was in my life to have another, to have a child with, like no good prospects or whatever. So I'm like, well, I already have a guy. I mean, I already have a baby, well, son with this guy, so I might as well just have another one. So I approached him with the, what is it? What do you call that? With the, I forgot what you call when you present something to somebody. Not the deal. I don't want to say the deal. I can't think of the word right now. But I presented him with like telling him, "Hey, I want another baby. I want another child. Me and you, we already have a child together. I don't want to be with you. I just want a baby. I don't want no relationship with you. I don't want us to be together. I just. So I'm even prophesizing that on myself, and then further in the years, that actually what happened. Actually, what happened with other people. Because I was telling him, and he was just like, I'm not just going to impregnate you and don't be with you and yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. So I'm just like, so he gave me an ultimatum like, look, me and you, we either be together in a relationship and have this baby, or I'm not, having sex with you. So I'm just like, damn it. And I'm like, I do not want to be with this guy. Like, I don't want to be with him, but I want another baby. Like, I don't know. It was just like, I want another child. So yeah, I was like, fine, we can be together. And it was like, I didn't want to be with him. Like, so, but I stuck it out. And I had a plan. I was like, okay, give it like a year or two after our child is born, and that'll be it. And that's what it was. Because I knew I wasn't, that wasn't like a long, I didn't, no pleasing, no, none of that. Like, I already knew, like, if I don't, I'll be letting these guys know straight up, like, look, I don't want to be with you in the long term, like, no. But anyways, moving forward. So that pregnancy with that, the mean being pregnant with my second son, I wasn't really happy. I mean, I was, but it was just like I didn't want to be with the dad. So I was like constricted, really, and just trying to play a part of this happy family. We got already a child together, and then this nigga proposed to me a couple of times, trying to be the image of a happy family. I'm just like, I do not want to be with this dude, but I stuck with him because I wanted a second child, by him. So that how that pregnancy went. My first two pregnancies went with the same guy. My third pregnancy with my son. I got four sons. My third pregnancy, I got pregnant with this guy. Me and him, we was cool. We known each other for a couple of years. My son's dad. We worked together, but we wasn't in no relationship. It was like a fling kind of a thing. Doing some stuff. And so we wasn't together, never in a relationship, and I ended up getting pregnant, and still never was in a relationship. Like, that was it. So throughout that pregnancy, he wasn't like F you and F the baby. How my fourth son father did. Well, my fourth son father did. He wasn't like that because me and him, we wasn't in a relationship. So it was just like, oh, pregnant. Hey, he was still doing his thing. I wasn't really doing the thing. But it was like, okay, pregnancy by myself because he had other girls and whatever. And I was just, hey. So that pregnancy didn't go, whatever. I was still doing it by myself, going through the pregnancy without myself, by myself. So then come along to my fourth pregnant, my fourth son. My fourth son, the dad basically was like, yeah, F you and the baby. He ain't saying them words, but his actions, F you and the baby. So again, another pregnancy by myself. And that was probably the hardest one because I really cared about this dude, and he led me on, and we had conversations in my car about just us two being together and this and that. But in a sense, I kind of knew maybe he wasn't for the long term. It was signs. It was signs. But I was just like, I seen some potential in him. But at the same time, I'm just like, but I don't know. So, anyways, four pregnancies, four sons. Well, for now, what I'm talking about, and not with they dad. Or the second son. Like I said, I was whatever, had to play that role. But overall, like, my pregnancies wasn't like good. Like, as far as what they dad go, like, I wasn't all like, hey, how I thought you supposed to be like the guy rubbing the feet, and y'all go out and y'all kiss and y'all hug and y'all just so like love each other. I don't. It's like, oh, you pregnant with my child? Like, oh, you so beautiful. Like, I'm thinking it was like that. Was going to be like that. That was like the image, that I seen, you know, around and stuff like that. But shoot, little do I know that wasn't the reality. Not even just my life, but of plenty of other females' lives. Shoot, we was sold a dream and it was just a lie. But so then it brings me on to my. Oh, I ain't even gonna say nothing about my daughter, but her dad is in that same category too because it's yeah. Ladies, please get information. Please get information, ladies. Come on now. This dude is waiting for y'all. Goodness, I'm waiting for y'all. Y'all need to come on. I guess I need to come on or something. Get this thing rolling. But the same way again was my daughter's dad. No, not no. I ain't even gonna go too much into that. But so brings me back to 2015. Brings me back to 2015. Okay, so when I was thinking back, recapping or rethinking about all the pregnancies that I done had and that I experienced with the dad not being there and the pregnancy was not good, and I'm like, this is the fourth time, and I'm just like, and I got four sons, and the pregnancy wasn't good, but I always knew that I wanted a daughter. Like I'm like, I know I want a daughter, you know. So I'm just thinking maybe the guy who my official guy that I'm gonna be with, maybe he would have a daughter, and that would be, you know, my stepdaughter, you know, my daughter, you know, through him, you know. So, but I was thinking about that and I was like, you know what, I might as well just go ahead and get my tubes tied because I'm like, I don't want to go through another pregnancy and then it's going to be what I got four sons by three different guys. So I was like, the next guy that I meet, he probably will already have children, and then I got four children already. What if he got a child or a daughter? That'd be five. But I'm like, I do want to get married. This is back in the day, 2015, and I was like, I do want to get married. And I do want to have a child with my husband, and but I was just like, my odds. And so let me go ahead and just get my tubes tied, you know. And so I was for it. I was for it. Okay. So I told my doctor that, and he was like, okay. And then it was at Mercy Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. So he was like, well, at this hospital, we don't do that procedure here. You have to get sent to another hospital. I think John Hopkins. Yeah, I had to go to John Hopkins. That's what I would have got sent to get the procedure of getting my tubes tied. So he was like, Mercy Hospital. I think it was a Catholic church. Catholic church. It was a Catholic hospital. Okay. So I guess they was for women and children. You know, they didn't want to do no end all be all procedure to end children, you know. So he was like, well, if you want that, you have to go to John Hopkins and, you know, we'll give you a referral and yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I went to his office. This is the contract time. The main reason I'm talking about this video, and it's almost 23 minutes in. Wow. So I sat at his desk, you know, he's sitting at his desk. I'm, you know, sitting on the other side of his desk, and he was like, well, you got to sign this paperwork for us, for we can get it started and send it over to John Hopkins and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, cool. So he explaining to me the procedure, what they're going to have to do, what is done. That means you can't have no more children. It is a risk factor. You know, blah, 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 like all this kinds of stuff. So I'm just like, whew, okay. And like my hands were sweating. I'm just like, this is a major freaking decision, you know? And then before this, like I talked to my mom and my sisters about it. I mean, I ain't gonna say they wasn't like, I ain't gonna say they was like, yeah, go ahead and do it, like cheering me on to do it, to go ahead and get it, my tubes tied. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they wasn't saying don't do it. They wasn't saying Didi, you don't gotta do that. Yeah, you got four sons, and what about your daughter? Like they wasn't saying none of that. Like I said, they was not cheering me on to go forward with it, but they still wasn't saying, think about this. If you get your tubes tied, you're not having any more children. Like think about this is a end all be all thing. Like, are you good with four sons? You know, wasn't saying none of that. So, but they was more so on like, well, more so pushing me to get it, but not forcing me. If that makes sense, they more so like, well, hey, you know, if that's what you want to do and you're thinking about it, then go ahead and do it. You know, it is your choice. You know, go ahead and get your tubes tied. If that's what you feel you want to do, go ahead and do it. Like, it was more so like that. Like, yeah, go ahead and do it, you know. So, anyways, I'm sitting at his desk and I had to, the paper, the stuff that I had to sign, say it was like 10 pages of like information. And like, I probably, out of them 10 pages, it was probably like four initial spots that I had to initial, and then the final page I had to initial and sign, and that would have been it. Okay, so he going through the paperwork and this and that. So as I'm thinking about like now, as I'm thinking about it, I'm like that was a freaking contract, like a deal, you know, like hey, keep your babies to yourself. You're not having no more children. You know, that was like a deal that was presented to me, like looking back at it. So, anyways, I initialed, like I said, say it was like, what I say, like four or five spots to initial. So this page initial, the page after that initial, skip a page, then the next page initial. So the final page came, and I had to initial and sign that this is it. Like, the procedure is set, and going to call me with the appointment, and I go. So, so that last page I initialed, and then I got to the part where I had to sign my name on the line. I had that pen in my hand. I looked at that line. I looked at some bold words, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't sign my motherly given birthright over. I can't do this. Like, no. So I told him, I was looking at that line that I had to sign. So I told him, I looked up at him, I said, I'm sorry. I can't do this. He was like, and then I kid you not. Like, I was looking down at the paper, like seeing things, like just thinking. I was looking, at the line before, I was thinking about signing it, which I didn't sign. But so I wasn't looking at him. But I kid you not, it seemed like when I looked up at him to say, I'm sorry, I can't sign, I kid you not, it looked like he was literally like holding his breath to be like, was I going to sign? Like, it just felt like, how, like, you probably seen in different movies. I'm thinking of Beethoven, for instance, but they wasn't really hovering him. But a scene in Beethoven, the first Beethoven, when the man and the woman, they was man and wife, they went to the family's house for a barbecue for him to sign his company, like it was like a smelling kind of a company air scent thing, over to them or do business with him or something. So they was in the backyard of the family's house, and then they was like trying to hurry up and have him sign. They was like, yeah, it's right there, just sign right there with an X. And they like looking closer to see what he going to sign. Like, hey, yeah, it's that little sticky note, like right there. Like, yeah, you just got to do it. So the wife knew something. The mother, she knew something was off, and of course Beethoven knew something was off too. But needless to say, the dude didn't sign because the people was crooked. Like, that man and woman couple, wife, whatever, they was crooked. They had their own agenda. They just wanted him to sign because they knew they can take advantage of him and yada yada yada, of his company and his family and all of that. So he didn't end up signing. And then there's other movies. I'm thinking of Shrek, when Shrek was signing Rumpelstiltskin, the Happily Ever After, that movie, when there was like sign, or even in the beginning of that movie also, when the king was about to sign. Up, here she go, wine again. When the king was about to sign, but he didn't because they. Yes, Eleanor. What? Why are you trying to? Eleanor. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. You want a snack? Come on. Okay. So, whew, this chair, this chair be swiveling. That's what it's supposed to do. But anyways, so like you know how like people is like signing something and like the other people is like really hovering over them to be like, is they gonna do it? Is they gonna do it? Even in a good way or a bad way, but they just like, oh, is they gonna do it? They're gonna do it. They're gonna sign, like leaning in over that person. So when I looked up and told him, like, I'm sorry, I can't do this, it's, I kid you not, looked like he had to like lean back. Like it seemed like he was probably like leaning forward. And then when I looked back and told him, he like had to lean back, like, whew. Like I don't know, was it was like a weight lifted off of him, like, whew, she didn't sign. Or oh my goodness, she didn't sign. But he wasn't mad or upset, like duh, like why would he be? But looking back and who I am, you know, all that happened for a reason. You know what I mean? So sorry, she was just coughing, had to listen in. But you know, I'm like apologetic. I'm like, I'm so sorry, you know, because I'm just like, shoot, I done wasted his time, you know, like he done explained to me and this and that or whatever. But he wasn't tripping. The doctor was like, oh no, no problem, no problem. You know, it's your decision, it's your body. If you don't want to get the procedure done, that's fine. And I was like, I'm so sorry. He was like, Demitra, it's fine, you know, it's fine. I was like, all right. And then I had to breathe and exhale because I'm just like, so then he was like, well, do you have any thoughts of any other family planning that you might want to do? And I was like, well, I don't know, maybe the IUD, you know. He was like, okay, well, we'll schedule an appointment to come in and we'll discuss the IUD. And if you want it, you can get it, yada, 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 fine. So that's what happened. So I end up getting the IUD put in, and mind you, that was supposed to be for 5 to 7 years, I believe. That sucker came out in like, let me see, in like 4 months. Yeah, like 4 months that sucker came out, and I did not go back there to get it put back in. So I'm like, I don't supposed to be taking no kind of a birth control method, like to keep me from not having children. I'm like, if I'm supposed to have a child, I'm supposed to have a child. If I don't, I will know that I don't supposed to. Like my body knows, the universe knows. So, and that's when I was talking about last night about my face. Like I had like my face, these bumps are from me being on birth control back in back when it was I on birth control. Yeah, and I ended up being back on birth. Yep. Matter of fact, after the IUD came out, because this is before I moved to Baltimore. Right around the time I moved to Baltimore, the IUD had came out. That was like in June or July. The IUD had came out. I started being intimate, and I wasn't even intimate. Like I wasn't even sexually active with anybody anyway. So that had came out through like a tampon. Like I don't know, something happened with the tampon. The tampon like F that, you don't need this, and stream was coming down. I just took that sucker out. But yeah, that was like June, July ish. So around October, um, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I had to listen in. Why is this? I'm sorry. I'm looking at the TV. I seen this guy. Let me see. Oh shoot. Let me see. Can I? This is the movie I'm watching. Well, that's on. Of course, it's called um, um Addicted. But anyways, so yeah, moved to Baltimore like in June, July-ish, and that's around the time it had came out. But around October, you know, I didn't want to do it, but I ended up, I ain't gonna say I didn't want to do it, but yeah, I had a hiccup and I ended up sleeping with my son's dad. It was just a one time thing, and then I didn't know that that means we was in a relationship. But to him, it was like we was in a relationship, and I didn't even know that. But and I was telling him, no, let's just be co-parenting. Let's just be co-parenting. I don't really want to be with you. Like, nigga, you know how you treated me when I was pregnant with your son. Like, why the fuck you think I want to be with you? And that's what I'm saying with my dad's daughter too. Like, nigga, there's some stuff like y'all think y'all know, but y'all have no freaking idea. No idea. The stuff that I done been through. But so so he was like, well, yeah, actually, no, I think we slept together twice. Because, yeah, we used a yeah, we slept together twice. And he was like, yeah, how about birth control, yada, yada, yada. Because, I'm like a natural kind of a person, but still being safe. Like a natural kind of person, but still being safe with it. What time is it? Okay, 2:50. And so he was like, yeah, birth control, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm just like, well, I know I ain't going with the IUD because that sucker done came out and I'm not putting that back in. So, of course, I'm like, the simplest thing to do, birth control pills. So I'm like, I might as well go ahead and get the birth control pills. But I'm just like, I know that's not something that I want to do because, again, that was like a teenage. When I think of birth control pills, I'm like, and this is just me. I think of because I did it when I was in a teenager. When I was a teenager. So I associate birth control pills, like far as I go, with being a teenager or being in the 20s. Like I'm, well, at the time I was almost 40 years old, with four kids. I'm like, I'm an active person. Like my schedule changes. I'm not going to be remember to be popping a pill every day at the same time. Like things I could be doing something different, even if I can do it at the same time or have done it at the same time. Something can always come up, and I'm just like, But I'm like, simple thing to do, birth control pills, fine, whatever. Went back to the doctor, told him, hey, the IUD came out, yada, yada, yada. Oh, you ain't want to put it back in? No, I'm good. I'll just go with the birth control pills. Okay, birth control pills, there you go. So I'm taking the birth control pills. In October, my face started breaking out in like November. I didn't know it was because of the birth control pills, but my face was like bleeding. Like I don't even trying to get too much closer, but this is the effects of it. And this is back in 2015. Okay, 2015, like right before my son turned 1. So this is, yeah, at the end of 2015 when I had these bumps, and like literally they was like big bumps, and they would, when I washed my face, they would be bleeding. So like I had band-aids on my face and I had to go to work, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like on both sides of my cheeks. And I was like, what the heck? I was using face wash, Neutrogena, Noxzema, like alcohol. Like I was using all this on my face, to get the bumps down. And it was this bleeding. When I say it was times when I was like looking in the mirror and my face bleeding like on three different sections on my cheeks, I was like, I don't even want to go to work today. Like I can go to work with bandages on my face. Like, oh yeah, call my supervisor. Hey, I'm not coming in today because my cheeks is bleeding. Like what? So I'm like, let me just stick it out. And then probably around November ish, close to November, like I'm gonna say December. I'm gonna say December. That's when I'm like putting two and two together. Like, that's these damn birth control pills. I'm like, whatever this name brand or stuff is, I can't do no damn birth control pills. Like, what the heck? So that was like, Demitra, you don't need to be on birth control pills. So I'm like, okay, I'm back at this again. So, but then I didn't want to be with him anyway. So I told him, like I told his dad, like, listen, me and you, let's be co-parenting. And then he finally got the picture. And I knew that he wanted to be like, see, can we work it out? Because he knew he effed up or treated me badly while I was pregnant with his son. Because he kept saying, oh yeah, when he get older, when our son get older, are you going to tell him how I treated you while you was pregnant? Like he kept saying that, and I was just like, no, like why would I tell him that for? Like, hey, you know how your dad treated me when I was pregnant with you? Like he could find out on his own. Like I'm not going to do that. So I think that was in his conscious. Like I need to see, can I make it right, make amends, you know. So let's see, can we be in a relationship? And I already knew I didn't want to be with him. Like I told him that, like, nigga, you fucked me over while I was pregnant with your child. Like I cried. That pregnancy, I cried so freaking much. That was the only pregnancy that I done cried so freaking much. Okay? Why the fuck would I want to be with you? Like we moving past that. Let's just be co-parenting. I know I have to deal with you for now since our son has a disability. So it's like I can't even say since 18. When you turn 18, we have to deal with you. Well, things can change. Really don't have to deal with each other, moving forward, but that's a whole nother different thing. Because yeah, spiritual jail, physical jail, all of that. Like all that karma, how this nigga was trying to get me set up and get me, man, come on now. So, but yeah, but we split apart like in December, like around our son's first birthday. We split apart, so I was like, okay, cool. So I wasn't intimate. I don't even think we was really intimate with each other anyway. Like it was just like, yeah, I was just taking a pill just to take it. Because I didn't want to have sex with him. I didn't want to be with him. So I'm like, no, I'm good. So, anyways, we'll be at um, 42 minutes. Okay, let me hurry up and end this. And but I did get on birth control one last time. So I stopped that birth control. Yeah, I stopped that birth control like in, I'm gonna say February. Even though I wasn't being intimate, and yeah, I'm gonna say January, February I had stopped. Yeah, I think that's when I had stopped. Or did I? Yeah, I think January, February I had stopped. I had stopped taking birth control. Yeah, actually, before February, it was, I'm gonna say December, January, I had stopped taking it because me and him had split up, and then it was like I wasn't thinking about having sex with anybody. I'm just like, what's the whole purpose of taking these birth control pills when I'm not active? I don't even plan on being active, so I'm cool with that. But of course, I still had them packs left. So, moving forward, it was one of my friends that I known since I was like 13 years old. He was coming to visit me, and we was chilling, vibing, smoking, whatever. And me and him, we end up doing some stuff. So every so often, I would take a birth control pill. Like if I knew he was coming over, like I would. I know it's weird, you don't even supposed to do that. I don't recommend you just be popping pills. I don't recommend you be popping pills just to pop pills. If you not, man, oh my goodness, I was doing it. Yeah, but I don't recommend doing that. Like I said, you supposed to start it like the Sunday of something, and then if I knew he was coming over and say I wasn't taking no birth control pills for like a whole month, I would like just start it on random. I don't know. I was just doing some stuff, and just to take a pill, just to take them birth control pills for like a week, after being intimate with this guy, so it wasn't, I don't know, it was weird. Like, I don't recommend doing that, so that was something that I did. But, anyways, me and the guy stopped talking, and I stopped taking birth control pills. Like, I stopped doing, I think I only did it maybe like a month. Yeah, maybe it only was like a month. I stopped, yeah, I was doing that. And then that's when I was like, oh hell no. Like I think I probably messing my body up more. My face was getting a bit clearer, but I was just like, no, I'm gonna stop. So I stopped taking it. Just that I stopped taking it in freaking February. Damn it. So taking it in February. Fine. So moving forward, I was not on no more birth control until the pills again. Until where we at now? 2015. Stopped taking it in. Yeah, my son turned one in 2015. So now we on 2016. Okay, we on 2016, January, February 2016. Stop taking the birth control pills. I didn't start back up a new kind of one because I was told my doctor, I don't want the ones you gave me previously before. Then they effed up my face. Give me something else. And I think I started taking them like and yeah, and I was thinking about this last night. It was probably around the same time, like in the previous year, like in November, October, November. Got a little think of my nose. Yeah, October, November is when I started back up for the final time. Excuse me. Excuse me. When I started back up for the final time, because I met this guy. Well, I've been knowing him. We used to work together, but yeah, me and him, we became a thing, and he was like, are you gonna get? And we was using protection, like we was using protection every time, like condoms. We was using condoms every time. So he came to a point was like, hey, do you think about any birth control? Are you yada yada yada? And I'm like, well, no, but I'll call my doctor and see, what to do. So that's how it happened. Like I started back on birth control again, and but with a different type of birth control. It was still birth control pills, but it was like another product, another name brand, I guess. And so I started that back like in October, November ish. I started back doing that. So I told the guy, yeah, I'm on birth control now. Okay, cool. Like, of course, I'm excited. He excited. The real thing, real feeling, yada, yada, yada. Great. Okay. I mean, it still felt the same, but it was like, man, don't settle, y'all. Do not settle. It is someone out here. That's why I'm watching this movie Addicted. Like this movie, like I can relate to this lady so much. This gonna be another video talking about the movie Addicted. And like she about to do it to Tyrese Beckham. I think that's his name. Of course I ain't gonna show the TV screen because she's like what at her office and man. But anyways, so yeah, I started back taking it, yeah, like October, November, a whole nother name brand, still birth control pills. But then I was like, you know what? And I came to him and I told him, this was like in December. I came and I was talking to him about it, and I was just like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable being on birth control pills because the last ones that I had, they broke my face out. These ones is probably still pretty good, but I'm just like, no, I'm not really feeling the birth control thing, putting stuff in my system. So he's like, "Oh, okay, well that's fine." So I'm like, I'm letting you know, I'm ending it beginning of the year. So December is my last pill that I'm taking. I ain't doing no more birth control pills. I ain't doing nothing. So he's like, okay, that is your body. If you wanted to stop, that's fine. Whatever. Okay. He was like, cool, whatever. That was it. So I stopped taking it the end of December. So now moving forward to 2017. 2017, yeah, we in 2017 now, right? Yeah, we in 2017. January came, he came over, whatever, whatever, and we, end up doing whatever. And I didn't say, hey, remember the conversation. I didn't say none of that because I was just like, he know, like, and I'm not going to bring it up because I'm just like, do he want to pull out, a condom or not? But I ain't say anything. He ain't say anything, and I mean, I ain't, get pregnant or whatever. So, and look, now she mad because she seen the guy having sex with his assistant. Like, girl, you married. Like I said, you can't be catching no feelings with these. Like, come on now. But anyway, let me get back finished with this video. It's almost 50 minutes. Okay, so yeah, so I stopped taking it and man, we was cool. So that's it. So the last time that I officially stopped taking birth control was in December of 2016. December of 2016. That was it. And I'm not on, yeah, obviously, if I said the last time I was taking birth control in December 2016, that means I'm not on anything now. Don't need to be on anything now because I'm not doing anything to be on. to be on any kind of birth control. But this video, wow, this video was just basically talking about my birth control methods and the ons and offs. And but the main thing I want to talk about for this video was that contract. So yeah, I didn't sign a contract. I was about to when I did not sign my name on that line. And I felt like I said, looking back at it, because at that moment I didn't know what I know now. So looking back at it, I'm reflecting and I'm like, if I would have signed on that line to say tubes tied, it would have been done spiritually and physically. Now, when I say physically, like, duh, yeah, here go your appointment, go to John Hopkins, they do it, cool. But then spiritually, me signing my name on that line, even if I were to say, I don't want to do it anymore, cancel my appointment, don't even make an appointment, even though I signed on a paper, I just don't want to do it. I still feel like spiritually they would have been like, nope, we got the evidence. Even though you ain't going there physically to get your tubes tied, you signed this paper. And that's like, so I be thinking about that and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I wouldn't even have my daughter. So I'm like, I didn't sign. I didn't sign. And I'm thinking like so many people wanted me to sign because if I did, of course, my daughter would not be here, and she just turned 3 years old on yesterday, on Sunday, 4/21/21. And I'm like, and my daughter is special. All of my children are special. But my thing is, I wouldn't have my daughter. I have four sons and one daughter. She's the youngest. And I'm like, is people was talking to me to be like, make sure she don't have no girl. Make sure she don't have no girl. Or when she has a girl, y'all know some shit about to pop off because once Demitra have a girl, y'all know a seal is broken. A couple of seals is broken. So that's what I know now, So, but anyways, what time is it? 3:06. Yeah. So let me cut this movie off. Look at her trying to fix her face up to go in the house. You done did, yeah. Put that wedding ring back on and your earrings, girl. You know you wrong. But yeah, so that's about it. I guess until the next video, and all right, bye.